2 days ago, we met with my friend to go to see a meditation teacher, which we have seen twice before together. He actually introduced me to him. He was a teacher and he just retired after 30 years of teaching. Great school. We went to his house and there was, as we walked in, he usually, the last 2 times he was waiting for us in his garden, which is pretty much a barren land. There's nothing in the garden. And as we walked in, it started pouring like a tropical storm. So we were thinking that he would ask us to go in his house, which is what we thought the first 2 times, but each time we ended up in the garden. And he called us over. He was sitting on the far end under a canopy. So we sat down and on the floor he was sitting on this bed with no mattress. And we chatted for about 15-20 minutes. The main theme was, you don't need to read anything. You don't need to watch anything. You really don't need to talk about anything. Just sit and meditate with a good teacher. This is what he said. And this is what he said to me or to us the last 2 times. Something about the way he says things, He's talking at a different level that affects you in the ways you would least expect it. It kind of leaves lasting imprints. So suddenly he said, let's go to this lady's home. It was a 20-minute ride the same way we came. We didn't announce that we were coming. We rang the doorbell. We entered. Nice lady, but apparently she had some health issues. So we were seated on the floor and the teacher sitting on a chair. She chose to sit on the floor also. And there were 2 other people, students of the meditation teacher. And this lady, after saying some greetings, started talking about her physical situation in Hindi, so we couldn't understand anything. Cam told me, turn within. He closed his eyes, so did I. And for about half an hour, some Hindi and some English words in between, like BP, blood pressure, and sugar, or the sugar level, blood level. She kept repeating these things. And as soon as I closed my eyes, it was quite interesting because all thought stopped without trying. But I could obviously hear things, and at one point this lady said, I'm a good meditator. I connect to my spirit and I'm able to relax my mind and get great benefit. But I'm not able to deal very effectively, or actually not deal at all, with these health issues that I have. she was quite distressed. She stated that she would panic about it and asked the teacher what he advises. Then he said, I heard him say, acceptance. He said, accept it, like surrender to it. He didn't say that word, but this is what it brought up in me. And the lady kept talking, and after a minute or two, I'm not sure of the time, I have a few issues of my own about my health, which until that moment I had thought that I had also accepted, and in my own terms, I guess, surrendered to it. I realized I hadn't. It was just on my lips. I was saying it. I was talking about it. I realized I had only accepted it intellectually. And hearing this lady talk about her problems, trying to deal with her problems, I didn't mean to judge, but my being was telling me that she wasn't handling it that well. From my perspective, I didn't mean to judge, but it was something, I guess, it had some judgment in it. And at that moment, I came to the realization of my own state. I could feel this pressure, the relief of this pressure from whatever area of my body, my organs, that was having whatever difficulty they were having. Only at that moment I realized that I had accepted it truly. It was a different level of acceptance. It was coming to terms with it and accepting to deal with it for whatever it is. And it was so striking that in my mind, in my brain, thinking, I've had some of these issues for now close to 8-9 years, and all this time I thought I had worked on them, and I never knew that there was such a level of acceptance. There was such an acceptance, another way of accepting or surrendering. How could I have been so wrong? How could I think completely the opposite? And this acceptance, I've said this word so many times now, it brought an awareness that I didn't even think or believe, or I wasn't aware of this type of awareness. None of the books I read, none of the videos I watched, none of the doctors I went to, there was some relief, yes, there was some improvement, but this was a different state. which also made me realize, with all my actions, even though I say I surrender, even though I say I accept, the mind, my mind was trying to, what would you do? I was trying to control what I was facing. I mean control in a good way. And this morning, it's been 2 days now, I realized in my deepest level that we don't even know how we came here. We don't even know. A lot of us don't know why we came, what purpose. They say the soul chooses the life it wants to come in. It made me realize that we really are not in charge. It was an incredible awareness that also brought a very deep degree of calmness and serenity. A moment that opened a totally new door to my being, to my mind, to my body, and touched my soul.